Hello? Yeah? Wait, who is this? Wait. Slow down. She did what? Whoa. Does her mom know? Really? Yeah, wait, hold on. I can't hear you well. Hold on. Wait a sec. No. Okay, I can hear you better. Yeah, I can hear you. No. Wait, what's the sound? What's happening? Explain to me what's happening. Come on. He's doing what? No, okay, listen. I want you to go upstairs. I want you to go in the bedroom, and I want you to hide, okay? No. I don't care if anything is taken. All I care about is you being safe, okay? You hear me? All right, I'm on my way. Welcome to Bokeh. So, Gone Girl is the movie that kind of inspired us to make this short. Obviously, there's not a lot of story to this, but we had a good time making it anyways. So what we did was we ended up using one really powerful light and just made it really, really soft. I kind of learned this technique from watching my cinematographer on my short film do his thing, and it always baffled me how he did so little work and got such good images. And just what I learned was after watching Gone Girl is most of the time it's just one lighting source and they just diffuse it a lot. So you get that nice wrap across your character's face.
Holding my breath too.
All right, you ready?
Ready.
And action. Something cool about the film was we did the entire thing in less than 5 hours, and it was just me and Jeremiah.
Yeah.
Like, we didn't have any extra help. Literally, we just carried everything down ourselves, set up everything ourselves, and then shot it ourselves. And I think it turned out really, really nice for less than 5 hours of shooting on one night.
Yeah, it just goes to show that you don't need a big crew to do these things. I'm sure it would have made it a lot quicker, primarily because we're dragging such heavy equipment a long walk. So it would have been a quicker shoot, but it's definitely doable with a small crew. I mean, there's just two of us.
The reason the audio sounds so good actually is because we tried out the new Tascam DR60, which is actually what we're recording audio with right now. So we had two audio sources, and considering there's two of us, remember that, so we didn't have a sound guy, it sounds pretty good. So for some of the shots, I just clipped a little lav mic into the coat and hid that, and then tucked a recorder into my pocket, and so we had audio coming from that, and then we also attached audio to the camera and recorded the shotgun mic. Here, hold on. So we attached this to the top of the camera, and then we just kind of pointed this in the general vicinity of where I was, and then that's how we got the audio from this. And then the last thing we want to talk about is three-point lighting and why it's kind of overrated. Every single film channel will talk about three-point lighting at some point, and it's how it's the standard in Hollywood. But honestly, it's only good for very particular uses, and you actually will see it a lot less in Hollywood movies than you think. There is some truth to the separation of the character from the background, and I think that's why a backlight is really nice. And I think, if anything, just do two lights, because then you can do a really soft key light on the front side of your character's face, and then a nice backlight to kind of just give them depth from the background. But for this, even we just did one lighting source, and we didn't need that backlight, and it ended up just looking a lot better than anything we've shot in quite a while. Three-point lighting is really handy if you're doing like interviews, and when you need to see the character's entire face. But
it's also a good starting point. You know, if you're not entirely sure what your scene should look like, you can set up three-point lighting. It doesn't take that long, and then go from there.
Exactly.
Really, take away lights, don't add lights.
And we just had a ton of fun. Like, it was the first time in a long time that I just had so much fun on set. I mean, actual making films is not very magical.
Yeah.
It's usually 30 minutes set up for one shot, and then you get that shot, and you're like, okay, that was great, I guess. It's not
Yeah.
until you edit it that the magic starts to happen, and we
Yeah.
had no restrictions. So there was one time where we decided let's set up a Chinese lantern behind the character and see what that looks like. It ended up looking terribly. It looked like there was a giant
Yeah.
ball of light on top of his head.
Yeah.
But
It
at
was a
least,
fun idea.
But yeah, I mean, we had a good time doing it,
Mhm.
and we had plenty of time, so we figured
Yeah.
we should try a bunch of different things. I mean, that's the best way to learn, is to just kind of try new things and see if they work, and hopefully you can try something no one else has tried before.
Hey guys, today I'm going to be talking about Gone Girl, the new movie by David Fincher. It's amazing. I hope you've seen it. So fair warning, there's going to be some spoilers in this segment. If you want to see the film, I suggest turning it off right now. If you don't mind, then continue on watching. Alright, so the first thing I want to talk about is how this movie switches genres about halfway through. It goes from being this really intriguing mystery to this really dark and twisted thriller. And I haven't seen that in any movies beforehand. And maybe you'll disagree with me and say that it stayed as one clean genre the entire time, but there's an obvious change of the elements that you're looking for in the film when there's a reveal. And it's almost like the psycho shower scene. It's almost like changing protagonists halfway through the film. Not that that's the twist, but that's how it feels. Like there's a shift in the very middle of the film. And for me, that's something to study because I really liked it. It's sort of, for me, something that films might want to do more of in the future to engage audiences better, because it seems that the more films that an audience member has seen, the more almost jaded they become. So if you are able to pull off a genre switch, if the story requires it, about halfway through your film, I think you've really gonna leave your audience wanting more of your work. And it's something I admire, something I'm gonna study, and something I hope to see more of in the future and hope to do myself. The other thing I want to talk about in this film is the acting is unlike any other film I've seen, which is strange. Knowing the number of takes that David Fincher does, I heard him say once on a previous film that he likes to remove the earnestness from a performance by doing like 40, 50 takes of a single setup, which is amazing. But the acting in this film you have to become acquainted with. It's almost like you have to get a taste for it. Once you become immersed and once you get that taste and become acquainted with the acting, it's unlike anything else I've seen. I think Ben Affleck and Rosamund Pike did an amazing job and were obviously helped a lot by David Fincher. It wasn't generic acting, which is sort of weird to say that acting could be generic, but this acting was unlike anything I've ever seen. The opening of this film and the ending is also something to take note of. In any sort of interview or book or lesson about telling stories, and especially making films and writing screenplays, you're told to get your audience on board within like the first 5 minutes. And this film does it in 20 seconds, if not less. It opens up this single shot and it launches you like an arrow in one train of thought. And you're thinking the story's going to go one way and it ends up going a different way. And then it returns to the exact same shot with a slightly different narration at the very end of the film. And it reminds you of what you thought the movie was going to end up being. And it sort of gives you this push saying, hey, you thought this was going to be something completely different, but how wrong are you? And how wrong were you about the characters as well? And that for me is a great viewing experience, but also something to take note of in writing my screenplays, is that, hey, you can get an audience on board with your film in 15 seconds, but not only that, you have another goal, another thing that you can accomplish. I think most screenwriters or most directors are just trying to get their audience on board to watch the film. Fincher did that, but he also used that moment to enhance the story for the audience as well, in a way they didn't even know was happening until the very end, and then he made them notice that he did that. And I love it. Alright guys, thanks for watching this episode of Bokeh. Have a good one. See you next time.